Control, Control, left click. So I can move them all at once. Oops, sorry, I think I didn't. I think I just got the, let me uncheck it. I didn't make a duplicate, did I? Maybe I made a duplicate and that I did not know it. Let me see if I can cut it. I think I made a duplicate, so somewhere, that's fine. Left, left, oops. As you can see, this is a somewhat of a time-consuming process. It's not gonna take you 5 minutes to create a dashboard, but that's okay. That's okay. We can continue to improve and learning. Let's just make it over here. But this is how you learn. This is how you learn. And that's fine. Now let's just save it. So now I can go back here, improve this, and that's fine. And if I click on this here, still go to the options. So one option was the columns. As I said, you can direct how many options you want. There is, of course, you can control the height. So if I go left here, notice the height of the company names. And same thing here. Click on this. Just border it first. Columns. I mean, I want to at least be able to see all the salespeople name, all the companies, and all the products. Now, you're not going to get that every time because we're limited of space. So you're going to have to determine how many columns you want and so on. As long as I get them idea, that's fine. Again, if you squish them here, for example, like this, that's not going to work. So you may have to actually expand them. And that's fine. So I'm going to click on this, Control, 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 back to options, and just align them. Just make it on left. And center. And that's it. And they're aligned. Now, the other thing you'll notice here now is if I click on Andy, only the data relevant to Andy is changing in this particular chart. If I click to Bob, you'll notice the rest of these are not changing. And we have to actually set that up. So what you need to do is click on the slicer, right click, go to slicer setting. Wait. I'm sorry. Let me see, slicer. No, I'm sorry. Yeah, click on the slicer. Not the option. That's another option. If you wanted to remove, for example, I personally don't like it, but I've seen other instructors and people do it. If you right click and go to slicer setting, they actually remove the display header. I personally, if you go there, it removes the option of the filter. So I don't personally like that, but entirely up to you. So right click, and here you'll see it says select report connections. Click on that, and it's going to give you all the charts that are available in this particular report. So what we want to do now is look at bar 2, column 2, line 2, pie 2, and go OK. Since there are others in this particular workbook, go OK. Right click, report connections. Now, if you only had one dashboard, then you won't get all these options. So you have to make sure you're appropriately selecting the appropriate charts. So that's why I labeled them column 2, line 2, pie 2. Okay, and then finally last one, report connections. And let's look at the 2s. 1, 2, 3. Okay. And save your work. Always save your work. That's it. You have got now, as you can see, the top is fixed. So let's check if it works. Give me all the data and change the corresponding data when we press for Andy. Everything changes for Andy. What about Bob? Everything changes for Bob. What about Sam? Great. Let's clear the filter. We get everyone's data. Give me just the data for company name for best value. Boom, best value. What about Costco? What about music and computers? And as you can see, it's a wonderful way for the upper management to interact live with this data. Now, what happens if you want to, of course, what if you want to select multiple people? Well, click on this first. Go Andy. Give me everything Andy. And Bob. And there we go. Oops. Let me see if... well, let's clear the filter first. Check. 1, 2. Or actually unselecting the other people that you want. So if you want Andy and thing, just select everyone but those people. So let's say Andy and Bob. I'm going to click. It's exclusionary. So there you go. What if we wanted monitors only? There we go. What if we wanted, now this is all this data. What if we wanted, let's check on this. What if you wanted best value only? So if I want best value only, and it's through exclusionary, so I have to go check, uncheck everything. And of course you can left click and drag. And there you go, best value. Left click and drag. Bob and Andy. Left click and drag. And there we go. And uncheck. So this is how you create dashboards. And all this journey, as I mentioned, from the start of absolutely knowing nothing about Excel, you're going to get to this point where you can produce incredible dashboards and complicated and yet simple dashboards for your upper management and wow them with your knowledge of Excel. Now, this is a beginner's course, so there's a tremendous amount to learn. I've been doing Excel for years and I'm still learning a lot of things. But the great benefit is that once you get to this stage, it will be up to you to constantly learn. There are about 350, as I said, functions, and I've probably used about 50 of them. So there's a lot of functions that only in time will you experience and you will utilize. Just because there are 350, if I'm not working with statistics, and I don't really, then I'm not going to go and start learning statistical functions. That's why I don't have the 300 functions that I use. So what I'm trying to say is that just because you've got this tremendous amount of information that I've given you, and hopefully a solid foundation here, is you don't have to memorize everything. You don't have to know everything. All you have to know is how to actually approach the problem. So when you're sitting down with the upper management and they're asking you, hey, can you give me a pivot table on statistics? Well, you may not necessarily know statistics, but now that you know how to get the function statistics, you can learn about statistics and functions and then create charts from that. That's the great beauty of this course. It assumes you don't know anything, and it's going to take you right from not knowing right to this area, which is a very high functioning job, if you will. So I hope you're enjoying this course. I hope you enjoyed the course. We're going to be wrapping it up. And what I want you to do for homework, actually, if you will, if you go to here now, I've got some newest one, Pareto, Combo, and Radar Chart. What I want you to do actually is go to, let me see here. Nope. What I want you to do is simply just create a new worksheet and then copy paste all these three into this dashboard, the dashboard that we just talked about here. And then what I want you to do is format it so you learn exactly how we're doing it. So this is how you're going to learn, not just by looking at what I'm doing. It looks easy, and it is easy. But the key thing is experience is what's going to separate you from the other colleagues in your work and your experience. I can't emphasize how, as I've been saying throughout the course, repetition, repetition, repetition. In all my courses, I try to stress that learning it once as you're going along with me, it looks easy, and it is easy, but you'll forget it. So the more you work, the more you do it, the more you constantly repetitious, the more experienced you'll be. So I'm going to leave you here. We'll continue with the other last video, and I'll leave it in. Hopefully you learned a lot in Excel. So my name is Raphael, and this is Learning Excel. See you in the next video.